Hey, it's Nick Jakusz, and welcome to Happy Hour Anytime, where we take a moment to celebrate the positive and uplifting stories from the past 7 days, as heard on 95.9 The River's Happy Hour from noon to 1. Now, life can be hard sometimes, and it's important for us to remember that amidst the challenges and difficulties, there are still good things happening all around us. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look at some of the most heartwarming and inspiring stories from the past week. From acts of kindness to groundbreaking achievements, these stories are sure to bring a smile to your face and a sense of hope to your heart. Here's to spreading joy, positivity, and good news. Let's get started. So get a load of this. Down at a Tampa Bay Rays New York Yankees game, a Holocaust survivor named Helen Cahan celebrated her 100th birthday by throwing out the first pitch at that game back on Friday. Really, and I'll tell you what, Helen looks really good for 100. But what really strikes me is that she had her 14 grandkids with her at the game. That's 14 lives that would otherwise not have existed had her and her family not been brave enough to escape Romania during Nazi persecution. Think about the millions of people that don't exist today because of those who did not escape. And then you think about the bravery and the heroism that Helen and her family showed that has allowed her family to live on for generations. How cool is that? That's what really hit me whenever we talk about Holocaust survivors. So you may remember a guy in California who snagged a baby stroller before it rolled into traffic. This happened just last week. See, the guy used to be homeless, and the reason he was in that parking lot at all was because he was interviewing for a job at Applebee's, trying to get back on his feet, right? Well, here's an update on the guy. He was talking to a reporter about it when he actually got a phone call from Applebee's during the interview letting him know that he got the job.
Thank you very much. Well, got the job at Applebee's.
All right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you, people. I appreciate everything, guys.
There you go. Congratulations to Ron, who also happens to be an ex-con who now saved a baby's life and has a job to help get back on his feet. That's really cool. Get this too. A 26-year-old guy in New York is going viral for his 50-31 fitness challenge. It's where you try to run 50 miles in 31 days. He lost his dad to brain cancer as a kid, so he's trying to raise a little money for Brain Cancer Awareness Month this month. And finally, an elementary school in Texas just set a new world record for the world's longest friendship bracelet. It is over 2,795 feet long. We can all use a little more friendship in our lives, ain't that right? But yeah, 2 Ukrainian refugees came to the U.S. with their 2-year-old daughter last year, and they're pretty grateful to be here for more reasons than one. She's 3 now, the little girl, but she was born deaf. But after they got settled in South Carolina, they took her to a hearing specialist where she got fitted for a cochlear implant. There is a great video of them turning that cochlear implant on. Here is little Zlata, her parents, and doctor reacting to her hearing for the very first time.
Oh my goodness, I heard that. Good job. Yeah.
Baby.
His dad
Zlata.
was.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Daddy. Yeah. Yeah, you hear that? Yes. He's here. Wow, what's happening?
Then next Christmas she will sing with us.
Yeah, right.
If you didn't catch that last part, the mother said maybe this Christmas she will sing with us. How beautiful is that? It's 95.9, The River's Happy Hour. A woman in Staten Island just turned 104 years old. Congratulations to her. Here are her 3 secrets to living such a long, healthy life. Lots of spinach, always taking time to do her makeup when she goes out, and having a glass of beer every single day. 2 out of 3 ain't too bad for me. Maybe I'll make it to like 85. I'd be pretty happy with that. Hey, a woman in Canada dropped out of college back in 2013 to focus on her sobriety, right? Good life choice, perhaps. But now a decade later, she's 29 years old and been sober for 9 years. She recently went back to school. Not only is she going to graduate, but she is graduating as valedictorian at the top of her class. Good job for her. And then a really cool story out of Fresno, California. A traffic camera in Fresno caught a guy on a motorcycle helping a family of ducks cross a busy street last week. He was pulling up to the red light when the ducks rather darted out in front of his bike. So he hopped off and started to stop traffic to make sure these ducks got across the road. Whether it is implanting a cochlear implant to have a 2-year-old here for the first time, or just getting off your motorcycle to help ducks across the street. Good news is good news, and I want to hear about it. If there's something going on in your world, something you've seen locally you believe deserves a shout out, let me know. Go to 959theriver.com/happy hour, or you can just email me, Nick, at 959theriver.com. Here's 2 stories about people in bad situations turning things around. There's a California woman that ended up homeless a few years ago, but she's back in school now. She's turning things around. Like I said, she's about to get her associate's degree. She's also getting married later on this year. And to top all of that off, she just hit the lottery for $5 million, which sure helps turn things around when you're having a bad day, doesn't it? She says she plans to buy a house and then invest the rest, which is a good idea. And here's another really cool story. CNN just did this story about a Girl Scout troop in New York called Troop 6000. What's different about it is all of the girls in it are experiencing homelessness or living in shelters. Here is the creator of Troop 6000, Giselle Burgess, talking about why she wanted to make this specific Girl Scout troop.
Back in 2017, my kids and I had lost our home. We ended up in the New York City shelter system. I was already an employee at Girl Scouts of Greater New York. How do I tell them that I want to start a troop here and why? I walked in, it was like, absolutely, let's do it. It's such a discouraging, scary time already. It was exciting to see girls as they were walking by participating and laughing in one room, and they were like, I want to hang out with them every week.
Talk about being in a bad situation, seeing an opportunity and turning things around, helping out the kids. That is awesome. And, of course, all of the money that they make from cookies and things are helping them go on trips and get other families into permanent housing. So far, they've raised over $1.5 million. So a group of dancing dads from the UK are in the news to embarrass their kids, which is a great reason to do anything, in my opinion. They formed a dance crew in 2012 called the Out of Puff Daddies. I don't get the name, but now they post dance videos to raise awareness for mental health, and they're a huge hit on social media, over 300,000 Instagram followers. I have checked out some of the videos. They put a lot of work into it, and I imagine their goal, beside raising awareness, their goal of embarrassing their kids looks to be a huge success as well. A 31-year-old Ironman athlete from England was vacationing in South Africa back on Sunday, and he actually saved 2 lives thanks to his training. He was walking past a beach when he saw a teenager drowning. So he dove in and saved the kid. And then, as soon as he got back on dry land, he saw another teenager lying face down in the sand. He saved that kid too. He thinks the second kid tried to save the first kid, but also started drowning, but he made it back. Thankfully, that man trained for this, and he knew how to swim and was up for the challenge and ended up saving 2 kids' lives. I love hearing stories about that. So get this. A cop in South Carolina pulled a guy over. It was Sunday, and the guy was kind of drifting into another lane. Turned out he wasn't drunk, though. It was just an older guy who had just come from a dance hall, and he just wanted to keep dancing. So he didn't get a ticket, but once they worked out all the ticket stuff, he offered to give the police officer a dance lesson on the side of the road, and she accepted. Her chest cam got it all on video.
Did you have fun?
Well,
I hear it.
can you dance?
No, I don't know. I've never seen it before.
Here.
Okay.
All right, now take 1 backward and 2 frontward.
2 frontwards. Can you do some dance with that? That's awesome.
The video is adorable, by the way. She was a really cool sport about it. That sound you hear, by the way, is like the bottom of his shoes. They were metal. He must have been tap dancing or something. So that's the sound of the metal shoes on the gravel covered pavement, but whatever. It was really, really cool making the rounds. If you are interested, just Google Pickens Police Department dancing cop. I'm sure it'll pop up for you. A guy in Minnesota says his Apple Watch saved his life. He was outside his house when someone driving by hit him with their car and took off. His Apple Watch immediately sensed the impact, called 911, and also texted his wife. He ended up with a broken tailbone, some cracked ribs, but he's going to be fine. The driver was a 17-year-old kid who turned himself in a little bit later on, which is also a good silver lining. He did the right thing at the end of the day. Another story here. The Humane Society saved a stray kitten in South Carolina that got its head stuck in a soup can. The photos are hilarious. They posted them online. They're very cute. It was a can of Campbell's Chunky, so they named the cat Campbell. I would have went with Chunky. But this is a really cool story, too. So there is a Facebook group called Random Acts of Crochet Kindness. It's got like 250,000 members, and they're in the news because all they do is knit or crochet funny things and then leave them in public for people to find randomly. Here's an example. Someone recently crocheted a little potato character with eyes and a mouth, super cute, put him in a bag, and the bag had a note. It said, "You found a positive potato." And they added a second note that said, "I may be a tiny potato, but I believe in you. You got this." A positive potato. You know, whatever way that you can find to use your talents to spread some kindness, I want to know about it. You can email me, nick@959theriver.com. You can also go to our website to drop me a line. So an 8-year-old boy in Michigan got lost in the woods. That's not the good part. The good part is he survived for 2 whole days by eating snow. He was camping with his family last weekend. Yes, they still have some snow in some places in Michigan. And he got turned around while gathering firewood. Here's Nante Niemi, the kid, talking about getting lost and surviving out in the wilderness for so long.
So my uncle, he said to go back to camp. And I couldn't say I don't know the way back to camp because he already turned around and left. And I ended up by like a river, and I wasn't even any close to the part where we first went up. I just ate snow because I usually do it in the winter.
Yeesh, not a good look for his uncle in that particular clip. I don't know the whole story, but yeesh. 150 volunteers went looking for the kid and eventually found him 2 miles from the campsite. He told Good Morning America he was worried that he was going to be stuck out there for the rest of his life. Well, thankfully, that was not the case. Also, real quick, the world's oldest dog just turned 31 years old. His name is Bobby, lives in Portugal. His owner threw him a big birthday party on Wednesday, and according to Guinness, he's the oldest living dog in the world, and also the oldest dog ever. I'm sure Bobby's just a good little boy. The FDA updated its policy to allow gay men in relationships to donate blood. The concern's always been AIDS, but they say that science suggests it's really not necessary. It could help ease the issue of blood shortages. And I'd say every single person that can give blood should be able to give blood because giving the blood shortage is a very real problem. And if you know somebody who needs blood, you can understand the issue there. So besides the good news in that front, I just encourage you to go give blood if you can. Also, a guy in Michigan hit a huge lottery jackpot, but almost didn't cash in the ticket after forgetting about it, not once, but twice. How good must you be to forget about your lottery ticket win? He bought the ticket, forgot to check the numbers for a month, and when he finally scanned it at the store, it said to file a claim with the lottery office. So he thought he'd won, a few $1,000 or so. Despite that, he managed to forget it again until his girlfriend found the ticket in his car a week later and asked if he checked it yet, because that's what girlfriends and wives are for, to make sure that we don't forget the very important things that we're supposed to do. Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, by the way. Turned out this guy won $25,000 a year for life, not one $25,000 win, 25 grand a year for life. He ended up taking the $390,000 lump sum, and I really hope he's going to use a little bit of that to make sure that he takes his girlfriend out for a nice dinner, perhaps, just to say thank you for keeping him on his toes. And that'll do it for Happy Hour Anytime. We hope that these stories have brought a smile to your face and a sense of hope to your heart. Remember, no matter what is happening in the world, there's always good news to be found around you. So make it a habit to seek out and share the positive and uplifting stories in your own life and community. And share them with us, too, at 959theriver.com/happy hour or any of our social media platforms at 959theriver. I'll be back next week with more good news stories, so to be sure to subscribe and tune in. You can always listen to Happy Hour live from noon to 1 on 95.9 The River, and on your smart speaker, just tell it to play 95.9 The River. In the meantime, keep spreading joy, positivity, and good news. Have a great week.